The Sweet 16 is here, but before the Sweet 16, Matt Painter is talking. He's
Hmm.
talking about next year, what Purdue will look like next year, specifically what they will do to round out their roster this summer. And Matt Painter, breaking news, siren emojis. Somebody please put them on the screen for me right here and right here. Matt Painter plans to take, quote, a guy or two in the portal this summer. He says, quote, there's no doubt we're going to use the portal. We're just probably not going to use it as much as everyone else. Went on to say that the exact thing he is after is a guy or two, and that it will be coming to Purdue basketball this offseason. One of the first times Painter has gone on record saying that he will be wanting to utilize the transfer portal. He's not totally anti-portal. We framed him as anti-portal a lot, but if you go through this through the years, Painter has talked quite a bit about reasons he doesn't love trying to build rosters centrically through the portal, and that it's a tool to round out plug holes, add one guy to the culture, not necessarily build your culture from the portal. He has a whole philosophy on that I think makes a lot of sense. But given how this season went and is still going, they still got games to play in the Sweet 16. And we're talking about next year and how we're going to add one to two guys from the portal. Are you surprised by Painter going on record with this? And what's your thoughts on his approach?
No, I like the approach, and I'm fine with him going on record with it too. Because honestly, he probably does need to go on record with it because if he didn't, we'd assume he's not doing it, given some of his past comments. So, look, I think that there's whether coaches wanted to admit it or not, and they can say whatever they want from the microphones. There is someone who's on the staff or behind the scene working portal pathways for schools, and whether they're bringing that to the coach or not during the run, if they're still in the tournament, that's yet to be seen. But look, I think this is a correct approach by Paint. Maybe Paint is on the 2-year plan movement, like some other people were on the 2-year plan movement after this season. But yeah, I think he's rightly assessing this, and this makes a lot of sense to me. Also, Paint he might be getting some inklings behind the scenes in the locker room that guys are on their way out, so like they know they're gonna have to add guys.
Well, and the scholarships are expanding. You have 15 to
Mm.
work with now. So, regardless of if anybody is leaving, there's room to play with here. What
Don't
do
they
you
only
think
have don't they only have one guy that's actually leaving for sure though?
first?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think in theory, everybody else could.
yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, what do you think the over under is for guys that depart? Feels like at least one other surprise beyond first.
I want to say 3 guys leave.
Okay. We don't need to
No
speculate
start,
names.
no starters. Everyone take a deep breath. No
Yeah,
starters.
not Braden. We don't need to speculate any names, but yeah, I think it would be a surprise if they kept everybody based on how this season went. Speaking of how the season went, I mean it's still going, right? They could still make a Final Four. At the time that we're recording this, Purdue could absolutely upset Houston, win the next game, be in the Final Four. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever at this point, given that they're playing in Indianapolis. And this is Braden Smith and Matt Painter and Fletcher Lawyer and TKR we're talking about. Um, but for Paint to kind of talk even on his direction here. Isn't that a little interesting to you? And I like it just like you do. Like I'm happy he did this. I'm a fan of what he said. You and I have been begging him to do exactly this. Take this approach last summer. And if you did, you'd probably have a team that was more better suited to beat Houston right now. But regardless, we're here now and he's saying the things I want him to say. The one thing I will say is just this. I've called him Pizzo. I've compared him to your coach, Tom Izzo. Your coach was asked all these questions this week, and he said, how dare you ask me that? I have a title to win. Matt Painter seems perfectly comfortable talking about next year while this year is still going on. I don't think I'm stretching that much. You can do both. I'm not saying you can't. Other coaches, Dusty May has, Bruce Pearl has, but I think those coaches are a lot more portal happy. They're going to be working the portal in a way that we just haven't seen Painter always do that. So, do you think Painter being willing to comment on the fact that he's going to portal and that this is about next year and what do we need to fix? Do you think that's a statement from him on how this season went at all? or no?
Um, I think so. I think so because I think that Paint is a guy that has had just so much success, especially these past couple years. Like it has been banners that are being hung by Purdue with an S, multiple ones, right? Challenging for Big Ten titles. They didn't do that this year. They bow out in the Big Ten tournament very early on, right? They're a 5 seed, and now they have a they'd make a Sweet 16, which I think makes things feel a little bit better. But I think by Paint standards, this year is really not at maybe what they wanted to do as of now. Now that could change. You beat Houston, then everything's kind of you change the narrative on that. But it's twofold for me. I love this from Paint, but I am surprised that he said it, if that makes sense. Because that's not him.
Right. It feels like an evolution for Payne a little bit. Not just saying like, "Hey, I'm going to use the portal," but like,
Okay, yeah, that scares me. That scares me. And I'm gonna take credit for that. We saved the Big Ten so much that Payne is now publicly commenting on getting in the portal because the Big Ten was saved and he didn't like it.
yeah, you know what this is? This is Payne about to rip the Save the Big Ten away from us.
They might win the Big Ten by 9 games next year.
Yeah, I'm scared too. So we know Oscar Clough is a target. He said one or two. We have a video up on the Clough target thoughts. Elsewhere, we have like 15 minutes, you and I, on our extended thoughts on what he would look like at Purdue. So go
Mhm.
watch that. But one or two, what do you think they're after here? Like we know they're after a post pairing for TKR. That's one.
Mhm.
What's the or two?
I think somebody on the wing to kind of be like a six something, 6'7" maybe wing or something like that. Something that you could have on the wing that I think would be maybe have CJ Cox take maybe more of a backup guard, backup role instead of being the featured starting 3 man.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. There's a lot of Purdue fans wanting Jalen Washington because he was a high school
What?
target for paint.
What?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Purdue fans don't know how to portal yet, even if their coach does. They're like number one target right now from the fan base that I've seen is Jalen Washington.
No. No, no. Actually, I take that back. Can I take that back?
Take what back?
The no.
You want him?
No. Fuck no. What are we doing? Stop. Come on now.
Two very different archetypes there, Oscar Clough and Jalen Washington.
Oscar Clough, Will Berg,
No,
Jalen
that's
Washington.
mean. That's mean. That's mean to everybody involved,
It's not
honestly.
Jalen Washington's fault. His knees don't work.
Yeah, I don't think I think the pitch on Jalen Washington would be something like, had you come to Purdue, your career would have gone a lot better. We can fix you. I don't know that there is fixing for him.
Let someone else fix him.
Yeah, he's kind of like the ACC Caleb first. Like he was a prized recruit that wasn't good enough and didn't develop.
Maybe he's coming from medical school.
Maybe could happen. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it should be basically get a center that can rebound, hopefully rim protect a little bit. Space the floor would be a bonus, but get a center that rebounds and blocks, and then get a big wing. Somebody with some size, somebody that can kind of cover up for Fletcher's limitations defensively.
Any options that come to mind?
Well, I floated Ryan Conwell, but that's different. That's a star guard, not a big wing.
Yeah.
Or like
It'd be,
what Kentucky just did. Cam Williams, the kid from Tulane.
yeah.
Like get one of those guys, a guy that's comfortable without the ball in his hands. Because one thing I will say, if they get Clough, a team with Braden, TKR, Clough, and Fletcher Lawyer, you better get a fifth guy that's comfortable never touching the ball and can still
Yeah.
make an impact.
Yeah. That's true.
So,
Go get a catch and shoot shooter with a wing with size too.
yeah. You know where's a great place to go to get someone who's comfortable without the ball?
Oh.
The transfer portal.
Ah, very true.
Shout out to Matt Painter for embracing this world that we are in. We've been begging for you to do it. It's great to hear you go on record and say you're going to do it. I think Purdue fans will be very excited about the additions that undoubtedly you will find that will help your team thrive.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.